Howdy eBayers. We got Honda Big Red 3-wheelers. One of them's a Big Red, the 200 back there. ES is a Big Red. And we have two 1985 Honda 250 SXs. They're not considered Big Reds. Big Red was a working machine. These are more of a fun trail machine. I'll explain the difference in a minute. We're going to go over all of them, and we have a parts machine here too we'll go over. This video is going to be a little bit elementary for a lot of people, but it's made to help you understand the difference in these three machines, how they work, and exactly what you're getting them if you buy them off of eBay. Everybody's aware of the scams on eBay where you send somebody something, they're like, well, we'll keep it for half, it's not what we expected. There's no returns on these machines. If you're going to bid on these machines on eBay, please understand you're keeping them. I don't care what eBay's policy is. If I ship these machines to you, or if you come and pick them up, you're paying the agreed price, and I'm not returning them after 30 days you've rode them or whatever you've done to them. Once you buy them and I put them on a truck, or I could possibly deliver them depending on where you're at and how soon you need them. But this video is to let you know exactly what you're getting and to inform you that there will be no returns. And I'm not taking half off for you to keep them. That's not going to happen. So, informative video. It'll be 100% truthful as I know it, as truthful as I can possibly be on it. These are older machines. They're in excellent condition, and they're very hard to find in this condition. I love these machines, but me and the wife are getting too old to use them, and the kids are all gone. So we're going to put them up for sale. There's no reason to let them sit and just deteriorate. I'll go over everything I know about them here. It's going to be kind of a long video, but it's going to be a good video for the serious buyer that wants to know about these machines and what they're getting. So first off, we're going to start right here. This is very, very unusual for this year make of a machine, is we have the certificate of origin for the two 250 SXs. They were purchased in Seattle in 1985. The VIN numbers match the bikes, and they're in the original buyer's name. He never titled these two bikes. This is the original certificate of origin from Honda, stating that when these were made and where they were first purchased at. And both of them have different VIN numbers, and both of these are the original paper. They came with the bike. Seattle Honda right there. Now the story on these, pretty well-to-do guy. Oh, and I'm sorry, I have the bill of sale from this guy too. Same name as the purchaser. If I can find his name here. Son of a gun. His name's on here somewhere. Anyway, here's his bill of sale. I'll find his name in a second here. Yeah, find his name in there, babe. And oh, right here on the back. Okay, my wife found it. She's way smarter than I am. So right here on the back, I should have showed you the back anyway. The original buyer, Stokes, local guy here. Known him for years. Okay, I'll show you the back of the other one. Same deal, same guy. So these are all signed and notarized, and I'm not really sure. I've never had a certificate of origin before. I would imagine you take these down and get a title, because you have, it depends on the state you're in, but it's notarized. You can see the notarized right there and the signature. This one's also notarized. So depends on your state, I'm sure, but here's the bill of sale that states the serial number, the VIN number, and his name that he transferred them to me. Now, going and getting a title means you're going to lose this original certificate, which would be a shame because you never find these. So I would at least make a colored copy of this, you know, for authenticity of the machines if you're going to go get a title, but it's really hard to find those. I have a bill of sale for each machine with each VIN number. Right, there's the VIN numbers. He signed them. Perfectly legal. So in 1985, this guy went down and bought the two 3-wheelers, the 250 SXs. He went and bought these brand new. He also bought two enduro motorcycles, and he bought two street bikes. and for his family, him and his wife, and they liked the motorcycles a lot better. And these got parked. The wife's got parked almost completely, sat in the shop all the time. His got rode quite a little bit more. I'll explain that in a minute. And they just sat in his shop, in a covered shop, gravel floor. He told me they hadn't been started in over 18 years when I bought them from him, and they're in excellent condition for their age, especially the wife's machine. We'll go over them in a minute here. Just finish this up. So he could find one owner's manual for the 1985. So I have one owner's manual only for the 1985 SXs. And then for the 200, this is a 200 ES here. We'll go over there closer in a minute. So for that one, I have a title. It's in my wife's name. She's standing right here, and it will be notarized upon purchase. It's a clear Montana title. The VIN number matches. I can send pictures of the VIN numbers if you want to verify it. It's an open title, no liens. It has not been notarized yet. I probably shouldn't have showed the address. And we will notarize it upon sale of the machine. When you receive this title, it'll be an open notarized Montana title. And we also, so the 200 ES is a 1984, and we have the owner's manual for that and an extra key. It's a very nice machine. The story I got on this, I've had this machine for probably 10 years, and I bought it to actually haul a bunch of mud out of a pond I dug down on our river bottom. But it was so nice I didn't want to use it, so I ended up buying this machine for parts. And this machine ran so good I just used it to move all the mud and do the grunt work because I didn't want to screw up this machine. So it's still in excellent condition. This one still runs. We'll get to that in a minute, but it ain't going to run today, but it is a running machine. And then the last piece of paper I have is I just put all new batteries in them, from batteries and bulbs. The 3 running machines. 2 of the batteries have a year warranty. The 250 SXs have a year warranty on their battery. The 200 ES takes a little bit different battery. It has a 6-month warranty on it, and this receipt will be included in the sale. Okay, so that's the paperwork. Now this tank is the original tank from this machine, the dad's machine. You can see I've got a different tank on there. I've restored this tank myself. It was in very good condition when I got it, except for this right here. You can see a space in there. This tank was on a machine that was probably rolled or hurt someplace down the line, and then the tank was just put up on a shelf. It was very clean inside, and hardly any rust. Hopefully you can see in there. Grab my flashlight. That's why I bought it. I bought it off of eBay, and I repainted it close as red as I could find. It's really a clean tank, and then I put new stickers on it. But you can see how there's a space right there. Now I know how important it is for some of these collectors to have these originals. So I have the original tank right here that came with this machine. It's been patched there. It's been patched there. It's been patched right here. And it's seeping again at this patch. That's why I decided to buy a different tank. This tank needs a lot of work. It's in good shape. It can be restored. There's a dent here, but it is the original tank for this machine. That's why I'm including it. But I wanted a running, working machine, so I put that tank on there so the machine would work and run properly. And it doesn't look that bad, other than right here. It's perfectly fine. It doesn't leak, and it works. I just didn't want to put the money into this. There's a couple of guys that will restore these on eBay. They advertise for it. It starts at 250 bucks. It's gonna have to have a liner. It's pretty rusty in there. It's gonna need to be cleaned out. It takes a lot of time and money to do that, and I just didn't want to put that in there, but I'm including it in case somebody wants to. Hopefully you can see in there. Just believe me, it's rusty. It's gonna need a complete restore. But it is the original tank. So that goes with this purchase. I'm selling all 4 of these machines on eBay on one auction. I'm not splitting them up. They're all going together. If I have trouble selling them that way, excuse me, then I will split them up. later, but I would rather not. It's a nice package, and I think I'm just going to sell them all together. Okay, so this is the original filter, also from this machine. There's a felt thing that goes over the top of it. You can see there how it got all crappy and it was ruined, so I took that off. I have an aftermarket filter in there. I will show you that sooner in a minute when I get around to showing you the racks and stuff. But this is the original filter that goes with that machine, and you can get the felt to go over the top of them to keep the machine original, is why I'm including this stuff, because it's very close to original and it can be put back to original very easily with these two parts. It's the only thing that's not original on that machine. That's why I'm showing you this. Okay, other parts, I got an extra hitch. Neither one of the SXs have a hitch. This will bolt right onto them. You have to get the bolts. I don't have the bolts for it. If you want, they're kind of a sports machine, so they didn't come with this. It's an aftermarket thing, and you can buy these on eBay real easy. As far as this pile of cords and stuff here, this is off of the parts machine. Now the story on the parts machine, I got it and it ran, and I used it quite a bit, and it started losing spark. So over the course of about a year, I replaced all this stuff. Sometimes it would run, sometimes it wouldn't. I put a new ignition switch and coil. I replaced all this stuff, and none of it was the problem. It was just a waste of time. All this stuff is more or less still good. I just took it off and bought stuff off of eBay and replaced it. And come to find out, on moist days it wouldn't start because we believe the flywheel has rust on it. And on moist days it won't make spark. Some days it'll fire right up, take off and run perfect, but most days it won't. So we'll get to that a little bit more. So that's my extra parts. So I'm going to give this video to my wife, excuse me, and I'm going to fire these machines up and show you, a little bit more about them and what kind of condition they're in, and that they run and move and shift. They all work just like they're supposed to. So we'll start here with this rack, and some people probably don't know about this rack. It's an aftermarket rack. It was available in '85, I believe. And we'll show you how it works and how the fenders come off. Pretty simple, but some people won't know. So we'll go over here real quick, and I'll show you the difference between the 85s and the 84. There's quite a difference in shifting and transmissions and rear ends. So here you go. So the rack just unscrews right here. You gotta know how to do this if you want to change a battery or anything. So this just folds up, pretty simple. Show these up close. Somebody drilled these holes out. They didn't do a great job, but it's not that bad. There's a hook latch underneath here. You just flip that latch. This is a toolbox. You just pull that right off. The whole fenders come off. You got your battery here, and this is the air cleaner. I want to show you the aftermarket air cleaner. That's the aftermarket, big thick foam thing in there. Works just fine. I showed you the original on the bench over there. If you want to put the machine back to original, it'll be very easy to do. I just had that one, so I put it on there. I'm not the guy to restore these machines to original. I'm just not into that kind of stuff. But it can be done very easily. So while we got this off, let me show you some differences here in the transmission. So you got neutral. They all have reverse. In '85 they put reverse up here on the steering column. You gotta wiggle this a little bit and slide that down, and then you have to hold the brake, and then you go down with and then it goes into reverse. And to get it out, you got to go back up. And you have to remember to let go of the brake. You only hold the brake to put it into reverse, and then you let go of the brake. Now this particular machine has been bypassed, meaning you don't have to push this down. It's a safety feature, and somebody has bypassed it. On the woman's bike, on the wife's bike, it's not bypassed. I'll show you that in a minute. On this one it's bypassed. The reverse light does not come on, which is a clue that it's been bypassed. And I do the same thing on safety equipment. When you know what you're doing, this is for kids and women that don't know what they're doing. The safety thing, it's just a safety, to keep you from hurting yourself. So it's been bypassed. I'm not going to unbypass it. If it was my machine, I'd have it bypassed anyway, and somebody that buys it probably would bypass it anyway. So I'm just telling you, the reverse light does not come on this one, and you don't have to push this down and hold the brake. You can simply put it into reverse just by going to neutral, and then stepping down on this, and it'll just pop right into reverse. As long as you're a safe and competent rider, that's fine. But if you're going to put kids on this machine, you need to undo that. Okay, let's put the fenders back on. Slide this up to the tank first. Gotta make sure your kickstart and this wire is in the right spot. And then you gotta line up these back here. And then it clicks onto this peg down here and it just latches itself right here. There's a little latch right here. And then you close your toolbox, fold this back up, put these back in here. This one's a little cranky here. Okay, and they rattle a little bit. It's alright. Okay, so let's fire this puppy up. She's going to show you the muffler and smoke. No, they ain't going to smoke. You got a choke right here. These are all warmed up. When these ain't warmed up, you got to mess around with the choke and make them idle a little bit. Right over here, there's an idle screw. You can see it. Right here, big black idle screw. So if you're impatient, you can just start them and then crank that in a little bit and it'll idle, and then you can crank it back out. But you got to be careful, you'll burn your hand on this muffler. You got to use gloves. But I've got them all warmed up, so they're going to idle. Just know that if, like you're in Wisconsin this week, is 52 below. So if you're in a place like that, you're going to have to warm up. They're not just going to start and be perfect when you get them. Idle perfect. You got to warm these machines up. They're cold-blooded, 1985, cold-blooded. They're all 4 strokes, which means you put gas in the tank and you put oil in the crankcase. There's no mixing on these. They're 4 strokes. They have kickstarts. The kickstarts work. The 200 ES has a pull start. We'll get to that in a minute. But these kickstarts work on these SXs. And one big difference is on these, on the SXs you shift up. No clutch. You just get going, you get up to 5 miles an hour, you let off the gas and you pull up with your toe and it goes into second gear. There's no clutch. It's an automatic, but you have to shift it. And you go up. On the 200, you go down. So that's a little bit of a difference there that you got to remember. And then the SXs, excuse me, do not have high and low. The 200 ES Big Red has high and low. The 250 SXs do not have high and low. They all 3 have reverse, but these are more of a sports machine. Another big difference is the rear end. Show the rear end here, babe. You can see how small this rear end is. It's a very high-speed rear end. First gear is low, so you can do some work with them if you want, but then you can really modoc on these. I mean, you can get these things up 50, 60 miles an hour. I mean, they're fast. The Big Red doesn't go that fast. It's got a lot bigger rear end and it's a lot lower geared. Okay, show the muffler there. We'll fire it up. Hopefully you can hear it start up. No smoke. We'll just take her around the yard here and show you what it should. They're 5 speed. Show the neutral light here. They're all 5 speeds. When you're neutral, the light's on. So just one up, puts it into gear. You should have your hand on the brake. And then you got a thumb throttle. When you want to go back to neutral or you want to downshift while you're riding, you just simply push down. You pull up to go into first, pull up second, pull up third, pull up fourth, pull up fifth. No clutch, you just let off the gas when you want to shift. And then when you want to decelerate, same thing, down 5 and you'll go into neutral. So we'll put it in the reverse here. So this light doesn't come on and you don't need a safety thing, it's been bypassed. So all you got to do on this one, I would suggest holding the brake and push down, and you're in reverse. Very low gear in reverse. When you want to go forward, you just pull up So now we'll go to the woman's machine. Did I show the kickstart on this one? This one has a kickstart, it works. And all the brakes work. I've tried all the brakes, and all the brakes work. This one's a little bit soft, but it just needs adjusted. It's real easy. Come around here. I can adjust it right here on the camera. You just turn this a couple of turns, and it just adjusts that brake. You don't want to get it too tight. And that adjusts it right up. All three brakes work. So same deal on this one. I don't think we need to take the rack off. It's the same type of rack. Just unscrew these and then do the clip. Pull the fenders off. Here's the muffler. I forgot to show the lights on that one. We'll show the lights on this one. I don't believe the lights work. Let's just take a look here. Let's start this back up and do the lights. The lights are all controlled right here. On. There ain't even a tail light on this one. This one's missing the tail light. I didn't even realize that until just now. So you got high and low. Here, come on.
No.
So this one has a little issue with the headlight, and it's missing the tail light. Let's do the woman's light. So you can see there's a tail light here. No tail light on that one. I didn't even notice that. A lot of this is the same deal as I just showed you on that. It's the exact same bike. The only difference is the reverse is not bypassed on this one. So you gotta wiggle this a little bit, and this thing that says R, you gotta get that to fall down in there. Right there. You can see how it pops up and down. Find a little spot. You gotta squeeze the brake, and then come over to show my foot. And you just push down. Now show the light. Okay? This light works in reverse. So that means you're in reverse, so you gotta remember to let go of the brake. Go back. You squeeze the brake. All three brakes work on this machine also. So then you just pull up, and that one up is neutral. Put you back into neutral. And then one more puts you in the first gear. Let's try the lights on this one. Put them on right here. On. Light works on this. See if the brake works. Is that coming on, babe? Hey, no brake light on this. Don't know about that.
Oh, there.
Did it come on? Okay, I just wiggled the wires and it came on, so maybe a loose connection there. Let's see if the brake comes on now. Is it brighten? Let's try this one. No? Did it get any brighter? You got a tail light but no brake light. I won't be messing with that. That's the way you're going to get it if you buy it. Let's see. So, you know, gas off and on. Everybody knows that. When I ship them, these will be turned off. The petcocks will be in the off position. So you'll need to turn these on and give it a couple minutes to get gas in the carburetor before you start cranking on it. Just a minute or two so it can fill up the bowl. All I really done to this one was put on new gas line. You can see, point out this right here. There's a couple of, you know, a little bit of paint missing here and there. What's this here? It's a little silicone. So there might have been a little something going on here once. I just now noticed that. But it's in excellent shape. There's no leaks at the moment. And both of these have brand new tires. I have the original tires from them, but they are absolutely shot. Show these painted. You can see these are brand new. Red, yellow, and blue. All three tires on both 250 SXs are brand spanking new. They've got less than a mile on them. Show these. These are a different brand, but you can still see the paint and the knobbies are still on them. All three are brand new on this one. And while we're doing tires, let's go look at the 200ES. So this one doesn't have that great of tires. Just focus right on the tire here. I'll just move it. It's not the best tires. They're holding air. You can see right here, weather checked. they'll run for a while, but they're going to need to replace. You can't be going 10 miles in the back country, you know, with something like this. You'd want new tires, but this is the tires they're going to be sold with. Let's look at the back one. Now this one's been, this one over here has been tubed. You can see right here, pretty bad. It's got a tube in it, so it'll go for a while, but it's not a good tire. It's well weather checked. Now, you can get a set of these for around 160 bucks. That's another difference from the ES to the SXs. The SXs have 8-inch wheels, and this ES has 9-inch. Wider and taller wheels on the big reds, smaller, shorter, sportier, narrow wheels on the SXs, more sporty. Let's show this tire. All three of these tires need to be replaced. You can probably get them for around 160 bucks. All three shipped to you off of eBay. So there's your weather checking on that one. Okay. You see in here, that's your battery and stuff. This Big Reds came with rack, so there's no aftermarket, nothing. It's just a regular rack. You know, this one pops up. I can show you real quick. So you can get into your toolbox. You don't have to take the seat off to do this. I was just showing you the battery and stuff. You can see toolbox in there. This latches back down. This goes back. You can see there's a little wear on here. I mean, it's not perfect, but they're very good machines for their, in very good condition for their age. All right, so over here is the biggest difference. You got high-low on a Big Red. High, low, and reverse. This is how you put it in reverse. You got to pull this up and move it back, and then you usually got to wiggle the machine a little bit to get it to pop in there, like that. It will not start in reverse, no matter what you do. You can't pull start in reverse, you can't crank start in reverse. You have to have it in either low or high for it to start. If it cranks and cranks and cranks, if it cranks and cranks and cranks, check and make sure you're not in reverse. This machine will not start in reverse. There's a safety mechanism that stops it. I should tell you also, the two SXs idle pretty good. All I did was clean the carburetors. I didn't put new carburetor kits in them. I've never put a carburetor kit in this. It idles worse than those two. It doesn't idle that good. It's a very cold-blooded machine. It takes quite a bit longer to warm up than the SXs. I have no idea why. Carb kits would help them all, probably fix that. They all have idling screws. This one's a little harder to get to. It's back on the carburetor back there. You got to use a screwdriver. But if you're impatient, don't want to sit here and hold the throttle, then you can just turn that screw in a little bit, let it warm up, and then crank the screw back out. Same thing on both SXs. They're just easier to get to. So, and, this has a pull start instead of a kick start. 1984 200 ES Big Red, pull start, low range, and you put it in reverse by hand right here. That's the big differences. And the rear end's way lower geared and the tires are bigger. That's your differences. Okay, so that's forward. And then if you want to go to reverse, you almost got to put it in neutral. Sometimes you can get it away without putting it in neutral. And then you pull up on this and you move it back. You got to wiggle the machine a little bit until it goes in. And then this is the opposite. You push down. It's opposite from the SXs. You shift this down. As you're going, no clutch, you just let off the gas, down, 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 down 5 times. And then when you're decelerating, let off the gas and up, 4 times to get back to first. Okay, so that shows you about everything. All 3 brakes work on this one too. They all work in shape. Let's check the lights real quick. I don't even know if they work. I never use them. never out after dark. Let's see. Low, high, right here. Anything on?
Yes.
What do you got back there?
Just a single tail light on.
Okay, let's see if the brake lights work. They get brighter?
No.
Let's try this. You get brighter?
No. No.
Okay, so no brake light, just tail light. And then up here, the headlight works on low. It does not work on high. Oh, yeah, it does. It didn't a minute ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does now. So I don't know what the deal was there. When I first turned it on, it won't work on high, but it's working there. You can see the difference. So turn that back off. When you turn that off, you got to lift up on the button and move it over. Don't break your button. You got to. So when you go, it drops down, and when you want to turn it off, you got to lift up and come over to turn that off. Okay, and then they all have this locking mechanism on the brake. You can lock your brake on. Okay, so we're going to jump start this old machine. Mostly just to show you it cranks over and it's a good engine. There's probably $1,000 worth of parts on this machine. It's not going to start, I don't think. Sometimes it fires right up, but I doubt it. It hasn't been started in probably 2 years. But the reason this is worth money is because it's got high, low, and reverse. This engine, 4-stroke, high, low, and reverse. These are getting hard to find. It's got a cracked cover, needs a lot of work, but it's there, and it is a running engine. It won't run today. I'm not going to get it running, but it does run. I think if you took the what's that called? The flywheel out and got all the rust off of it, I think it'd be a running machine. But it's a parts machine. It can go with this package, or you don't have to take it. It's entirely up to you. The wheels and tires are weather checked, but you know, they're usable. The forks and the front tire are off of a 250. I believe this to be an 82 or 83 200 ES. I'm not positive, but that's what I think it is. I'm just going to jump it right off the starter here so I don't have to mess with the dead battery. We'll put this one on the negative of the battery. So turn the key on here. Hopefully you can hear that. It's turning over. It's a free motor. It's not locked up. The gas tank's not rusty. Like I say, I use this machine quite a bit, so I don't have to use my good one. So there you go. You can take it with the package, or you can leave it here if you don't want to pay shipping on it. It's entirely up to you. I'm kind of running out of things to say here. This is a real fun package of equipment. I mean, this is more of a workhorse, and this is more for fun. These two up here. The whole thing's going as one money on eBay.